Hello and welcome to another episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and finally, I'm going to talk about something other than books. Um, it's a game, and I'm not going to go into the deep details of how you play it. There are plenty of videos where you can see people play. You can learn all the rules, but it's a game that I love, and a new expansion has come out recently. So I just wanted to talk about this because as much as I love reading, I also love playing games. And the game it's Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. Can you see that? There it is. All right, for anyone who's not familiar with what a deck building game is, generally, very generally, um, you have a deck of cards. Well, I should say a pool of cards from which each player will build their deck. Um, there are a lot of deck building games out there. I only have a few. But generally, you've got this pool of cards. You use starter cards to purchase stronger cards, and you just keep buying stronger cards, building a stronger deck so that you can achieve whatever the goal is of the game. Now, in Legendary, the Marvel deck building game, it's a cooperative game, and the game actually plays against you. What you've got is a mastermind or a supervillain. In this case, you have Carnage. I believe there's a dozen or so at this point that you can choose from. So you're going to be fighting that mastermind. The ultimate goal is to defeat them. But you're going to have a deck of villains, and then you have your deck of heroes. And on each player's turn, the first thing they do is turn over a villain card so the game can play against you. Then you play your hand of cards, and you can attack, you can buy new heroes, try and take out the mastermind, super villain. And that's basically it. Everybody works together to try and beat the game before the game beats you. There's also schemes. They all look the same, but they're all different, basically scenarios. Um, there's a bunch of those. So every game's going to be different. There's a whole bunch of heroes. You make the pool of cards is going to have 5 heroes generally that you're going to be able to buy from. This is the base set, which had a bunch of X-Men, a bunch of Avengers. There's Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, Cyclops, Wolverine, Professor X. Oh, wait, nope, I didn't say that. Um, Storm, Rogue, how's that? I'll throw those in there. The reason I didn't say Professor X, you must have misheard me, is because I'll come back to that. Now, I did say there were expansions. I think I covered all the basics. Like I said, really quick, you can learn about this game other places. What I want to talk about is just what a great game it is. So the first expansion to come out was called Dark City. There it is. This added some great characters. I was hoping there was a list on the back because I can't remember all of them. But it does add Professor X. See, you knew I was going to come back to him. Jean Grey, Colossus Iceman, Nightcrawler, X-Force Wolverine, Domino Cable. But what I like is it adds the Marvel Knights heroes aside from some new X-Men mutant heroes. So you've got Daredevil, Elektra, Punisher, Blade, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, one of my favorites. I was so excited to have Iron Fist in this game. And that is not an Iron Fist card. I was going to show you one, but wait. Nope, that's Domino. That's Wolverine. Where's Iron Fist? He should have been right up front. Anyway, there's Iron Fist. I know he's a little blurry because I'm getting too close, but anyway. So each character has different things that they can do. And adding these characters adds a lot more to the game. This expansion came with 4 new Mastermind villains, I believe, a bunch of new schemes. It added Apocalypse, Mephisto, Strife, Mr. Sinister, Kingpin, perhaps? That would be 5. I don't remember. It's been a while since this expansion came out. Either way, it's really cool. And I love playing with the Marvel Knights characters. The artwork, pardon me, I seem to have a little cat hair in my eye there. One of the things with the original set, the core set, the artwork on the cards was all exactly the same. Every Iron Man card had the same artwork. Every Captain America card had the same artwork. With the expansions, the cards have 4 levels, I think. So the first level cards do have all the same artwork, but the second level cards have a different picture of that hero, etc., etc. So that's nice. A little more artwork, a little more variety, and it's all great, great artwork. So then, next came the Fantastic Four expansion. There you go. Which added, of course, the Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer. Those are the heroes that they added. And I believe the villains were Galactus and the Mole Man, the masterminds, because there's all sorts of smaller villain groups that make up the villain deck, and I cannot get that cat hair out of my eye. I don't know why it's there. But it's making me all blinky. So, Mole Man and Galactus. Galactus is tough. I will say, with the expansions, we've started losing a little bit more. Some of these mastermind villains are a lot tougher in the expansions. I'm not sure we really lost any with the core game. Not that it wasn't close, but I'd say we're at about a third of the games we've played with the expansions have been losses, which makes it more interesting, in my opinion. If you think you're going to win every time, yeah, it's fun to play because you got the cool heroes and everything, but, you know, if you're going to win all the time, it's got to be a challenge. I don't want that. And then the newest expansion just came out really recently is the Spider-Man expansion. They're calling it Paint the Town Red. Now, Spider-Man was in the core set, so what you've got in this set is Spider-1, the Black Cat, the Scarlet Spider, the Symbiote Spider-Man, and one of my favorite characters of all time, Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. He is awesome. And I'm trying to find a good card. Well, there you go. There's Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. I don't know why. I just do. He's a great character. Maybe because he's crazy. He's got a split personality, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this game. So you've got those new heroes. The 2 new masterminds are Carnage, which I showed before, and Mysterio. I love the artwork on the Mysterio card, which is right there. Sorry, it's blurry. I don't have autofocus or anything, so you really can't see it too well, but trust me, it's awesome. And each mastermind villain has a group of villains that they lead, so that group is always going to be in your villain deck. Mysterio has the Sinister Six, so you've got Kraven and the Vulture and some other great characters there that you're going to fight. The Spider-Man expansion, Paint the Town Red, adds a new element called Wall Crawl. Normally in a deck building game, when you buy or recruit a new card, it goes in your discard pile. It will eventually be shuffled back into your deck, so you'll get to it eventually. With Wall Crawl, you can put it right on top of your deck, so the next hand you draw, that card's going to be there. So that's a nice little, a little bonus. But the villains now have something, at least the Carnage villains have something called Feast. So anytime you fight one of those, they're going to knock out the top card of your deck. So you have to be careful. You play Wall Crawl, you put it on top of your deck, the next thing you know, it's getting knocked out, you're never even going to get to use it. So it's these kinds of twists and turns that make this such an interesting game. Most of the people I've played this with have really enjoyed it. I have one nephew, who shall remain nameless, who does not like this game. I just don't understand why he doesn't like it. Can't trust kids anyway. No, he's great. He enjoys a lot of the other games. I just, something about this he doesn't like. And he's a big Spider-Man fan. He likes the the heroes, but we're not here to talk about the people that don't like it. We're here to talk about what a great game it is. It's legendary. It's legendary. So that's basically it. I heard that there's going to be a new core set where you can play the villains instead of the heroes. It's going to be an interesting twist. Wonder what kind of mechanics they're going to put into that. But I'm definitely going to pick it up because I really like this game. It's adjustable, you know. If you're playing for the first time ever, you can make it a little easier. If you find you're winning all the time, you can definitely adjust it to make it harder. We typically play just straightforward, and it's got a good balance. Like I said, we lose every once in a while. Some of the scenarios I find more interesting than others. We haven't played them all. I try to randomize which scenario we're going to play. According to the rules, you're supposed to randomize everything. A random deck of 5 heroes, random mastermind, which we typically do. Random scheme, everything random. But generally, we pick the heroes we want. Sometimes we'll pick the mastermind we want. Most of the time, I'll do it randomly. Actually, I've been playing certain comic book scenarios. Since I've gotten the expansions, we played the first issue of the Fantastic Four. Had the Fantastic Four going up against the Mole Man. Of course, we had to throw a 5th villain in, or excuse me, 5th hero in. And I can't even remember who we used, but we did that. Wanted to go old school X-Men, so I had Magneto as the mastermind and used Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Angel, and Professor X. Unfortunately, there's no Beast, because it would have been cool to have him in there. Used all the original X-Men, going up against Magneto. That's from issue 1. One of my favorite comic book stories was the new Fantastic Four, when Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and the Hulk had to find and rescue the Fantastic Four. So I played all those characters. Again, needed a 5th, so I threw Human Torch in. And in that story in the comic, had to do with Skrulls. There's Skrulls in here, so I had them fighting the Skrulls. So you can do that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of variation. It's not a super complicated game. Once you get the rules down, you learn the basics. And most deck building games seem to have the same basic concept of buying from a pool of cards that are available to everybody and putting them in your deck to try and build the best deck. The 3 other deck building games I have are competitive. It's player against player. Right now, this is the only cooperative one I have. Although there is a victory point system, so if you beat the game, you can see who the best hero is by whoever has the most victory points. And that's it. It's legendary. It's Marvel Heroes. Come on. This is pretty much the day and age of Marvel, isn't it? With their movies and everything. Come on, DC. You're falling behind. Although the DC deck building game is really good too. So, legendary, a Marvel deck building game. If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, as always, put them down below. Normally I'd say read more books, but this isn't a book review. And I can't say play more games or Will Wheaton will kick my ass. So try out some new games. Try out Legendary, and I'll see you next time.